hand path and putting, it's not going to quite look like what Sasha just did, but more from a coaching perspective. And maybe what's interesting is my computer actually crashed on me about 2 weeks ago, so I was going to have some cool animations. But anyway, 3D hand path and putting. All right, or you got 5 minutes, not 20. All right, Como said I couldn't talk about straight back, straight through, or arc putting, or I couldn't talk about pendulums and robots either. So anyway, we'll start with the pendulum. We'll start with the pendulums and the robots. So what's the theoretical hand path of a robot or a pendulum is that there is no shoulder tilt, correct? Right? And the elbows are fused and the shoulders, the upper arms don't move, correct? The hands don't move, the hands are dead, right? And we go tick-tock. So the low point of the hand path would be concentric, probably, or relatively concentric with the low point of the putter head path. It does not work like this. I've looked at 75 pretty good players, and nobody looks like that. So if I died tomorrow, the one thing I want you to do is please stop saying the word pendulum when it comes to putting instruction.
Deal.
It does not work like a pendulum. All right? Now, the hand path, this is where the magic is. This is where the magic happens. I don't see any tour players. We saw Brad Faxon. We don't say, well, my good strokes feel like this and my bad ones feel like that. They're always talking with their hands. Yes, whether it's the lead hand, the trail hand, both hands. I hate to break it to you. Everybody go like this. Come on, participate. It's late. Now go like this. That's what I'm talking about today. Everybody has some degree of hands in their putting stroke. Do you hear me? Everybody has some degree. It's where the magic happens. So we're going to talk about the lead hand, the trail hand, and the shaft. I got to fly through this. So, are the hands truly dead? So with GBD, we get to look at the lead hand, flexion extension graphs, radial ulnar graphs, supination and pronation graphs. We get to look at the trail hand as well. The hands are not dead. They're barely alive. They're coordinated. That's the number one word next to don't say pendulum, but coordinated is what we're doing. Great players have a coordination between what they do with their hands and the putter and their arms and their torso. They use their hands. They're not handsy. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you a video here in a second because I got to fly. But that's Hunter Mahan. His hand path is going up and left, and the putter path is to the right. Okay, so the hand path and the club head path are not matching. They're not always matching. Hand path differs for different release types. People that are trying to release the toe rotationally or adding loft or delofting, all these things change the path of the hands. The hand path influences the rise angle, the dynamic lie, the dynamic loft, and the impact spot. The lead hand and the trail hand are doing different things. Everybody take your left hand and do this. Which way is the left hand moving? It moves relatively straight back, maybe a little down for a short putt. It moves up and in. The trail hand, everybody do your trail hand. It moves, sways back, thrusts a little in, might even lift a little bit. So it's very common to see, the most common stroke pattern I see is straight back, arc left. I don't see straight back, straight through. First of all, what the hell do you mean by straight back, straight through? Are you talking about zero rotation of the face? Are you keeping the face straight back, straight through? Are you keeping the putter head moving in a vertical plane? Or is it the shaft that you're referring to? All three of those things would produce different motions. I very rarely see straight back, straight through with the face, less than 4%. I very rarely see straight back, straight through with the center of gravity of the putter head. Less than 13%. Straight back, straight through is a concept. It's an idea, it's logic, but that's not how it works in 3D. So I always say it's like beef or chicken, right, John Dunnigan? Get on a flight, what do they ask? Would you like beef or chicken? Every person in here has a different stroke pattern. It's not a beef or chicken situation. That's all I ever hear. What do you teach? Hey, what do you teach? Straight back, straight through, or marking? I teach you to make putts. That's what I do. All right, anyway, there's my rant. I had to get it in there. Low point of the hand path was prior to the low point of the club head, and the hand path for good putters tend to be slightly forward, up, and in. I'll show you in a minute, but not always. Zach Johnson would be a perfect example of somebody whose hands are not maybe rising as much. Now, is hitting up on the putt the same thing as the hands being higher at impact? That's a little food for thought. Not always. Some players like Tom Watson, who missed the little putt on the British Open, the problem was the hand path looped upward and then hit down on it. I'm talking about the height of the putter at impact. I'm not talking about hitting up on it necessarily. Everybody, that's food for thought, okay? All right, now, so here we go. We got to play this. Can we play this video real quick? Now, as a coach, you get how many tries? Naked eye. To look at the stroke. How many tries do you get? You get one. If you want to cheat, you use your iPhone. All right, so let's play it once. No, go back, please. Let's play the video, please. Any wrist in the stroke? Okay, stop. Any wrist in the stroke? Everybody said yes? Okay, how did they change? Okay, what did they do on the through stroke? What did the trail wrist do on the through stroke? It actually extended more. Why?
Tried to hold the ankle.
No, because he changed the length of the radius in the backswing. Okay, so everybody watch again. Everybody take your wrist, go from extension to flexion. Now change your left elbow and go from flexion to extension. What's happened to the distance between the putter head and the torso? It's gotten longer. Now he has de-lofted the putter. Putter head has gone in, but the hand path has gone out. So what does he have to do now? This kid right here had the steepest ascent on a hand path I've ever seen. Is that wrong? Do I have to change it? Do I need to get him to release it, get the butt of the glove, the point in the belly? Do I need to do that? Woke you up, Chuck, sorry. Do you gotta point the butt of the glove at the belly with this guy? He'll pull it. Okay, this kid grew up at Oakmont. That's why the motion looks the way it looks. What's he doing when he's doing this? He's de-lofting. That supposedly what? Adds speed, so what's he doing with his arms? He's taking speed off of it. The kid's a genius. You don't change that stroke. He can putt better than 95% of the people in this room. Maybe. Anyway, play it one more time. So I think sometimes our stroke is a byproduct of, the environment, our ecosystem. That's what it is. You look at the putting stroke as an ecosystem. If I change the putter, I change the grip, I change something to that ecosystem, I'm either getting better or getting worse or being stagnant. But the hand path, this was the most different hand path to putter path that I'd seen. All right, so sorry for the rant. So everybody go like this. We're only talking a little bit. So how important are the hands? Well, we're supposed to not use our hands. We're supposed to use our bigger muscles, correct? I think every time I talk to a tour player, and I'm around a few pretty good ones, and we play practice rounds with some okay guys, everybody's talking about their hands. But not in the way that we have put the crucifix up there saying, don't use your hands, it's a sin. It's just some people use their hands in a way that's not as efficient. All right, so release types. If you just looked at the butt of the club, or you could look at the coupling point, or you could look at the lead hand and the trail hand, you'll notice that the putter head sway, the butt of the club sway, the wrist flexion extension for lead and trail is different. Lead elbow flexion and trail arm flexion extension is different on every one of these players. Which player has the steepest hand path? Which player? person that's blocking it. Why are they blocking it? They might have to what? Keep the toe from closing because they took it back hooded and de-locked it. That's the look on the far right. There's more torso turn, there's more tilt, there's more horizontal flexion. The lead arm is faster with the block. Sometimes I fix putting strokes with velocity because velocity has both speed and direction. It's not positions, it's motion. I might just say here, you're pulling your putts. I check to see if they're twisting it away in the takeaway, or if they're shutting it down in the downswing, or they just need to slow it down through impact. That's what you're seeing on the far right versus throwing the toe over here on the left. So you have a release type and a hand path that have to be complementary to be successful. Make sense? The hand paths are different. So who has the lowest hand path through the ball? Guy who has the highest hand path through the ball. All right. All right, so these are some hand paths. So that picture on the far right is literally the path of the hands of a block, of the kid that you saw in the video. All right, so when I'm looking at the hands, I'm not just looking at the path of the hands. I'm looking at how much does the putter head sway, how much does it thrust, how much does it lift. The BOC for you folks out there means butt of club. Okay, so I'm looking at both ends of the club, what the lead wrist extension, flexion is, lead trail, radial ulnar, yada, yada, yada. So we've got to cut this down. There we go. How long was that? We got time for questions or no?
Yes.
Yeah, who we got? They said go fast, so I went fast.
So you get a lot of high-level players, great putters come to see you, and they're way better than the average bear typically. How are you going to help them? They come to you. Are they shaken? Are they broken? Help me out.
Everybody's different, right? So I got to find out where they are. So you remember those little icons I had at the beginning? First one was a brain, correct?
Yep.
So I got to find out what mental state the ecosystem is in.
Okay.
Are they growing? Are they decaying? Are they stagnant? Right?
I'm decaying.
Yeah. Okay. Then I evaluate the skill, the putting skill. Remember the wrench and the gear. I want to evaluate your ability to read greens, your ability to adjust to stiff and slope. I want to see aim. I just want to know where you intend to aim.
Sure.
Not worried about being perfect. And I want to know what your tendency on your start lines are. And then I go through the entire, I have what's called an eye test that I have to fill out before I say a word to you. Matter of fact, I have to identify your stroke pattern before I put you on the sample out loud. And I have to identify all the joints, or all the segments, the grip, the arms, the torso, the head, the pelvis. I have to use my eyes before I use my mouth. And that's something that I had to do because a lot of you know me. I like to talk too much in a golf lesson.
You got that
I have messed up more people. That's why I got out of the full swing business and got into putting. I found I was a better coach with putting because I didn't have to say so as much. That's what I thought. All right, another quick question.
What technology do you use?
Great. I like to test all kinds of technology, but I use GBD, the Polhemus hardware, 8-sensor system. Dr. Rob and he calls me his software Nazi. I'm the one that finds all the bugs. Like that axis is the wrong color and that form's turning the wrong way. I just spend a lot of time. I literally, instead of spending time on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, I stay in my man cave. Like I just came out, so this is weird. I've been in my man cave for about 6 weeks. Como's been there. And I study. I mean, I'm constantly training my eye. And I'm constantly trying to refine my art of what I do. Because I have to make sure I make good choices for the players that I work with. I mean, I've ruined a lot of players. I really have. But I've helped a few too. And I'm never afraid. So here's a perfect example. Trevor Immelman came to see me. And I helped Trevor as much as I could. But I had to send him to Phil Kenyon. And when he went to go see Phil Kenyon, I sent my entire folder of videos, Sam Putt Lab reports, and everything I'd done with Trevor Immelman, I sent him to Phil Kenyon. Phil goes, "Why are you doing this?" I say, "Because I want Trevor to succeed." Because number one thing about coaching, it's about the player's performance. I might have improved him 65%, but my history that I had collected on Trevor had to go to Phil.